Hi everyone. Merry Christmas to all of you. This is episode number 3 of my Christmas special, and it's going to be a little bit different than the other episodes, mainly because I did not finish the book that I was going to be reviewing for today, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just recycle it for next year. So it's going to be just a little bit different, but we're going to keep the same consistency. So, for this episode, I'm going to be sharing some new greeting Christmas cards that I received in the mail from complete strangers around the United States because I'm a member of Library Thing, so that's where all of these new cards are coming from. I'm also going to be reading to you an inspirational passage from A Christmas to Remember, a booklet that I received from Unity World Headquarters, and I'll go on a little bit about them. I wanted to show you a few things that I've either received in the mail or that I'm going to be getting very soon in preparation for the year 2022. And I'm going to also be sharing with you some memories about my dad because this year it's the second anniversary of his death because he died on Christmas 2019. So last year to celebrate, I was in Hawaii, and this year I'm back at home. And I just wanted to share some memories of him, some pictures if I've ever shown you that many pictures of him. So to start off, we are going to be reading a passage. It's very short, but it is very inspirational. And it is called The 12 Powers for the 12 Days of Christmas. And it was written by Reverend Bronte Colbert. And as I stated, this is from Unity World Headquarters. Unity World Headquarters was founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. They were one of the older pioneers of the New Thought movement. They were also students of Emma Curtis Hopkins, whose book or biography I reviewed maybe a few weeks ago. So I'm assuming this is a Unitarian minister. It says, Reverend Bronte Colbert wrote each of the 12 meditations that follow. To learn more about the 12 powers taught by Unity, visit unity.org/12powers. Colbert is a minister at Unity Athens, Georgia, and chairs the Interfaith Clergy Partnership of Greater Athens. So let us get into this brief and inspirational read. It says, Together we've celebrated the beauty of Christmas time while deepening our sense of rebirth and renewal. We are now invited to continue creating a Christmas to remember by activating and using our inherent spiritual powers or gifts known as the 12 powers. The powers are faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, release, and life. Because we are all blessed with these divine attributes, we have the innate potential to live life at levels both spiritually strong and beautifully enlightened. The 12 powers help us turn away from thoughts of lack, worry, and other limiting beliefs, while grounding us in the empowering knowledge that we are spiritual beings with a complete array of constantly available God-given tools. Sometimes in the challenges or busyness of life, we may forget we have these tools or be unaware of their support, their energy. How can we recognize and activate their clear, full expression by calling upon and developing them? As you ponder, affirm, or meditate upon each of your 12 powers in the pages ahead, consider keeping notes or journaling about the beautiful ways they show up for you. May your 12 powers assist you in discovering even more delightful aspects of yourself as you create new Christmas memories and fabulous adventures in the new year. And so each one, she goes on, I don't know if she or he. The Reverend goes on, and all the way up until January 6th, there is an inspirational read for each of the 12 powers that you can concentrate on. Yes, so that is the little brief read. Next, I'm going to be showing you a few of the cards I have received in the mail from Library Thing. They're very beautiful. Especially this one. This one is very colorful. And it was sent to me by a man named Robert from Virginia. And it says, "Hi, Kiara Lynn. I'm trying to include a book recommendation in all of my Santa Thing cards, but it's really just an excuse to review your library and find things I might want to read, because we have our books listed on Library Thing, but I have not updated mine. I actually have all of my books cataloged in a Google Docs. You have a very eclectic collection, but I also read a lot of nonfiction as well. So my suggestion to you is to actually read David Allen's Getting Things Done. I see you have some time management books on your list, but Getting Things Done is so much more. It can bring you peace of mind from all the chaos and did I do that thing I needed to do stress. It is hard to keep up the practice, but it works really well when you're on a flow. Best of luck and best wishes to 2022. And so that is what he wrote. Have I read Getting Things Done? I really don't know. I feel like I have, but I feel like there's also multiple books with that title, so I'll have to look it up somewhere. The next card is from a woman named Nancy in North Carolina, and she actually sent me a bookmark. And I'm going to get this laminated. Okay, yeah, that's the first thing I'm going to do. She also sent me some favorite books from 2021 that she read, which I think is pretty cool. And this is the front of her card. It is beautiful and glittery. She also wrote the weather at the time. It's sunny, 50 degrees at 4 p.m. Hi, Kiara. I'm a children's librarian, now retired. I love kids' books and have a big collection, many of them out of print or hard to get now. Your website is wonderful, because, I have a website. I love all of your art. Wishing you good health, good fortune, and endless joy in the new year. Very best holiday wishes from your Library Thing friend, Nancy." Aw, that's so nice. I'm going to make sure that I write back to all of these people, because I've been so exhausted just from the year and from working and from preparing for this new year to come, that I've just been utilizing the remaining energy I have left to just try to get stuff done. The next one, ooh, this one is cute. This is from a person in Oregon named Carmela, and she didn't write much. It just says, "May the beauty of nature fill your heart with peace and joy throughout the year. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy these book plates." And she gave me these book plates, which I know you should stick in the book, but I'm actually going to laminate them. Anything I like, I'm going to laminate it, okay? So this is the little card. It looks like Bambi and his friends. Even though I don't think I've ever watched Bambi. But yeah, that is what I wanted to show you. All of the cards I'm going to place in my beautiful Christmas box so I can read them to my future children in the years to come. The next thing I wanted to show you are some of the things that I either received or bought for myself for Christmas. So I journal. I like to journal a lot. Or I actually used to journal a lot. In the past, I would journal every day, and I never missed a day for it was either 6 years or 12 years, but I never missed a day of writing. But I have been looking for the perfect journal, and I said, you know what? I have journals now, so I got one of my own journals with one of my own art on it, and it is hardcover. I wanted to see how it turned out. So this is the new journal, Balloon Boy. Wish you could see it. It is of one of my paintings. I have it on my website too. It's 200 pages long, all lined because I didn't make it blank. I just wanted to see how it would turn out as a hardcover journal, and it actually turned out way better than I expected. So this is going to be my journal for 2022 until I finish it. I think I'm just going to start writing in my own journals from now on. I also received a present from a stranger, and I should have brought it, but let me go get it. It's so pretty. So, with my present, I had been having a very just challenging time and trying to just get my obstacles out of the way. And I chant a lot of Ganesha mantras, or I did in the past. Like last year, I chanted Ganesha's mantra, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, for 9 months straight, 108 times every single day. And I got a lot accomplished. But for some reason this year, I just fell off. I was starting and stopping and starting and stopping. So I asked a question in this group that I'm in, like, what can I do for my obstacles and various things? Because it seems like nothing's working. And they said, chant Ganeshas. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll go back to that. I had been wishing for a Ganesha statue. I was on my way to work wishing for a freaking Ganesha statue. I said, this Saturday or this Friday, I'm going to go out and buy one. I come to work and there's literally a Ganesha statue sitting on the counter when I opened the store. I was like, what? I was like, that is so strange. Maybe we're selling it because, the store I work at sells a lot of things. So, of course, a Ganesha statue, like, that might be one of the things we sell. Oh, I'm sorry, Ganesha. So, I call my boss and I'm like, what do you want me to do with this Ganesha statue? What are we pricing it at? And he's like, one of your boyfriends brought it. I'm like, boyfriend? I don't know who brought it. So I don't know who brought this, but literally I think it's so cool that I was literally wishing for a statue of Ganesha, planning on getting one that day, and I ended up getting one. So that was my Christmas gift from a complete stranger, and I have it sitting next to my box of Lakshmi and also next to my statue of Yemaya. So thank you, whoever you are who gave it to me. I really, really love it, and I'm going to use it and take very good care of it. The next present that I got, and it's going to be a surprise for you guys too. The guy I like in town bought me a Christmas present, and I think I was so surprised because, I mean, almost every birthday, almost every Christmas, almost every Valentine's Day, I've been stood up. Like by a guy I'm like romantically involved with. I've been stood up, or they just disappear, or I'm just so used to spending Christmas and Valentine's Day and birthdays by myself that actually like somebody like, oh, I got you a present that I actually put thought into. It's kind of shocking. So I'm very excited about his present. When he comes to visit, he's going to give it to me and I will show it to you guys. And I think you guys will like it as well. So the last segment of this very brief episode, I'm going to share with you some memories of my father. I actually have his obituary here. And I have an obituary of my grandfather because my grandfather died in October. But, I forgot to tell you. I didn't make it to my grandfather's funeral because nobody told me when it was. They forgot. But this was my father's father. And this is my father. So this was Perkins. And this was Perkins the third. So with my father, I was his only child. I'm my mother's only child. My dad died when he was like 64 years old. So he was born in 1955. And he was very goofy. He called me Munchkin. That was his nickname for me, was Munchkin. He also, one piece of advice I remember is he would be like, don't eat so fast. Chew your food and don't eat so fast. And I didn't realize the profound meanings of that word until I almost choked in college, and then I finally understood what he meant. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get what you mean. He's like, eat your vegetables. So yeah, this is a picture. He liked hanging out with his friends. This was him when he was little with my aunts. This is him and me. I know the picture seems kind of blurry, but this is him and me. He also called me KR. That's my one of my family nicknames is KR. This is him with a big afro. But yeah, he loved hanging out with his friends. When I worked at the library, or at one of the locations, he was also in the library, mostly hanging out with his friends. He was very, very popular. When he was always, he was more like party dude. Like, he would go party. He could work, he could build, but like, he just was a free-spirited type of dude. He did not like to be held down anywhere. He also had it was like a brief stint in the military for a little while, but he became very anti-military. At that time, he was what was he? A Muslim or something? So he's like, you know what? I'm not going to fight for these dudes. And eventually he went from like, I want to say I don't know if he was Baptist or he was raised as a Christian, then he became a Muslim, and then for a long, long time he was an atheist. Near the end of his life, he became kind of spiritual. This one, this is him on his little cycle. This is me and him. This is him wearing his favorite hat, which I actually have. The hat says, I woke up like this. He had very curly hair, always laughing. One of my favorite stories that my aunt shared at his funeral was when he was, let me see. Damn, I can't remember. But one of the memories I remember from not that Christmas, but just about him was actually after his death, when we went to clean his room. And I thought it was so strange that me and him organized our rooms in similar ways. Now, I was raised mostly by my mother, so it was just me and my mother. So I didn't have much exposure to my father. I knew who he was. He knew who I was. We would see each other on the street, or I'd see him in the library, say hi, 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 like. But we really didn't talk like that. Even when I worked at the library and I would see him every day, like, it was almost like he would avoid me or something. So I didn't realize how much we actually had in common until after he had died. So we go to his room, and he had his room organized similar to mine, right? He had like things color-coded. He had all of these different things folded in different drawers, and just like things with like things, forks all in one way, lists, and he also had like boxes of food that he had stored. So it was almost like he was a prepper, which is similar to what I do. I was like, what? But the really crazy part was in every single corner of his room, he had some type of weapon that he could use to fight. So in like one corner there was a butcher knife, in another corner there was a hammer, and under his bed was a butcher knife, and then under his mattress and under his pillow was a butcher knife. And I'm like, what? I literally do the same thing. Like, I'll have different weapons all around my house. Oh, like, just in case somebody tries to come in and try to off me, I'm ready. I got what I need. If it's a bat, if it's some bleach in a bottle, different knives, a fork, I'm going to aim for the eyes. That's what I always aim for. But I thought that was pretty neat. So that's one memory I have of him out of all the memories, not from childhood, but like the recent ones that I have that really stood out to me. He was very kind. He was like, he was kind of like a street dude. And he hung out with, I guess, how like some people, like the only person I can think of would be like Jesus hanging out with prostitutes and stuff. He kind of hung out with people similar to that. Like sometimes it'd be drinking, sometimes it'd be prostitutes. But he always made sure everybody was solid. So when we cleaned out his room, we found extra blankets and different things because when it got cold and let's say the prostitutes had nowhere to sleep and they had kids, he would have like extra space for them and their children, extra blankets so they wouldn't be freezing to death outside. So he was a very, very kind man. His landlord came to the funeral. She had good things to say about him as well. So I thought that was pretty neat. And I'm like, he was a pretty neat guy. I can kind of see some of his personality coming out in me, especially the spiritual portion. Like that really stood out to me because on both sides, on my mother's side and on my father's side, they're very, very, very religious. I think mostly Baptists. Some of them are Jehovah's Witnesses. None of them know I do anything. None of them know I do tarot. None of them know I have a YouTube channel. If they found out, they'd probably be very upset. But now I know where it came from. Like, I'm just like, why am I like this? Even as a child, I'm like, why can't I just believe like they believe? Like, why am I having such a hard time? And this was as a child, before I had any exposure to anything, even though I was surrounded by, in a Christian school, in a Christian household, and in church like 6 or 7 days a week. I just couldn't understand why I couldn't get it like the other people got it. I just wasn't feeling what they were feeling. And I got it from my daddy. So this was him, Perkins. And that is all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to lay down, so I'm very, very tired. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of Kwanzaa, so I'll have to prepare something for that. It's probably not going to be super, super elaborate like my Christmas special, but I'm going to be talking about some of the principles and some of those concerns I have in regards to the Black community, as well as some solutions to the things I complain about the most, some possible solutions that maybe can be incorporated in the future, if not by me, then by somebody else. So have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.